Hey, Cancer, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your October 2024 monthly reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Cancer, we see that you have been facing some adversity. You've come up against a little bit of conflict here. But the good news is when we get the conflict card, this is overcoming those obstacles through communication, through truth, authenticity, and you also have soul tribe out here. So this could be between you and family, perhaps you and a loved one, maybe you in some sort of community with the tribe. And then we have breakthrough. So if you have faced some adversity or a situation that has caused you to feel a little bit anxious, I definitely sense that there's a breakthrough leading to a brand new energy. Bottom of the deck, you have new life. Some of you, this has to do with career. There has been adversity or struggle in your finances or within your career sector, and there's going to be a breakthrough this month that leads to a new offer. If this is love, which we're going to look at all different areas, love, finances, health, we'll look at it all, but this is beautiful because some of you've struggled is what I'm getting. You have struggled with this conflict card. It's been a little bit of a tug of war, a push and pull, competition, opposing views, fighting for something here that maybe many were fighting for. And this is the month where I do see a new beginning. I mean, you have new beginnings with the Fool showing up. You have the Messenger. So I definitely sense there's going to be incoming news, communication that sends you off in a new direction. Yeah, or this could be you delivering communication towards someone, and it feels like there has been a delay. There's been a delay in some sort of goal that you've had for yourself or something that you have wanted. Okay, wow, that one came in hot. Someone may not have your best interest at heart. I just have to say that here. Someone could be wearing a false mask. Someone's not being truthful, and it's going to come out during this eclipse season. And you have the fault line. Wow. This is going to be a deep reading, so stay tuned here, Cancer. Let's dive in. Conflict was your first card out. It did show up in the reverse, which means some of you may still be going through this conflict, trying to find resolution, trying to find the words or, find solutions to dealing with this, because it does feel heavy. It has caused you to maybe revert or retract your energy with the Hermit right off the bat. And I feel like you want to let go of the rope. It's like you want to let go of the rope because it's starting to burn your hands. It's starting to create tension. You're getting tired. And I do see right when you release, like right when you're about to let something go, it's almost as if that's when this shift comes in. And you have Soul Tribe. I feel like there are people in your corner, but you're going to find out this month who is there for you and who's not. So it wouldn't surprise me here to see that you do release some people from your life, okay, that just aren't putting in the energy. They're not putting in the effort. They may be holding themselves back in some way, shape, or form because of some of their own fears. I'm getting jealousy, Cancer. Some people may be jealous of you, and they may be putting up a front while they are within your presence, but I feel behind doors, it's a different story. But you're intuitive. You're going to know who this is or what this energy is. But I also feel like you are someone who you're not going to spend a lot of your time and energy focusing on a tribe that doesn't want you to eat at their table, right? I feel if anything, you are strengthening the bonds that are in your life where people support you, you can trust them. And I feel like you are cleaning out the closet, so to speak, when it comes to relationships or friendships or dynamics that feel very one-sided. And you're going to create more balance in your life by doing so, because some of you, it feels like there's just been this, again, a tug of war. Like, why are we still hanging on to this attachment or to this energy if someone is wearing a bit of a mask? And for some of you, this may have to do with an individual at one point you did have an emotional bond or tie or connection to, but Spirit is saying make room, because you're calling in new tribe members. Okay, this is soul family, new friendships, new individuals that share a sense of commonality here, a sense of shared journey, or a sense of belonging. I feel for some of you, there's going to be a message that comes in from a new community, a new partnership, a new organization, a new business. I feel like it's going to allow you to feel like you're part of something new that inspires you and uplifts you. And that may be part of the breakthrough coming in. So if you are transferring companies, if you work for a company over here and there's a lot of cutthroat, there's a lot of backstabbing, or if this is a family situation, you could be removing yourself from it in order to go where you are appreciated. That's what I'm seeing here. And there's a realization. This is a moment of truth. You see the breakthrough there. And this has been a common theme for all the signs so far, is the light and the shadow, right? For Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and now you, I'm getting the same message. So this is collective. This is global. This is happening maybe even on a worldwide level, where we are going to see some shadows and we're going to see some truths. October is a big month. It's a 10. Endings bringing in new beginnings. And I do see that new beginning here. You have the Fool card showing up centered in your reading. But you're not going to be reckless about this, or at least that's the message that's coming in, is not to be reckless, to think for oneself and to not let other people persuade or manipulate you into going in a direction that you don't want to go in. And that's why there's a moment of truth showing up here. Now, bottom of the deck, we have new life, we have career, and wow, you can't make that up. There's the shadow, right? We have light and we have shadow, but it may require us to face some sort of shadow, right? In order for us to fully address maybe a fear. This conflict could be a fear within you. Maybe there's conflicting interest between you and a family member. Perhaps you live with a partner and, this job may, may cause the family to uproot or to move or to relocate or take more of your time. And I just see that there is going to be some patience, some compassion, and communication required this month. But ultimately, there's something quite profound within this new life. Because this is big changes. This is rebirth. There's a fresh journey that a lot of you are heading on with the Fool card showing up here. You could even be climbing the ladder. Some of you may be retired or retiring. There could be a job change, a promotion, advancement. You could be getting a bonus here. You could be working remotely. Some of you are working remotely, but you are creating a base. It almost feels, if you are maybe working online in some way, shape, or form, that there's going to be a meeting, or you could create a community of some sort that helps you grow financially. Yeah, and we'll look at career. We have career cards, but I do see a lot of changes shifting for you here. We start off with the Hermit. The Hermit is solitude. You've needed a little bit of solitude to gain introspection. You may have needed to remove yourself for a bit from this dynamic so you could get maybe a clearer perspective of what you truly want, what you need, where you're going, and even to heal for some of you. This is about soul searching and enlightenment. But I feel if you've been sitting in this for quite some time, this could be the month where you break out of this hermit energy, right? Maybe you've withdrawn for far too long and it's time to rejoin society. Maybe the opposite is true. If there's been too much coming in at you from all angles, perhaps there's been too much extroversion showing up, you may want to kind of climb into this hermit energy and just take some time for yourself. Now I see with the messenger showing up, this is one of the bonus major arcanas in this deck. The creator and author of this deck added on a few extra bonus major arcanas. This is card 22 and it's all about communication. Hence the messenger. This could be an invitation. Some of you are getting invited to join a new company or a new group. This could be a love proposal of some sort. I'm even getting for others of you, this could even be, you know, a proposal, someone could be asking for your hand in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is quite literally a marriage proposal because we do have the Fool, and maybe this is about taking a leap of faith. But I also feel like hands, whenever I get hands, this is healing hands. So maybe you are invited to go on a spiritual retreat, or you're receiving communication from your higher self saying, go towards what you're curious about. This is your green light. This is your invitation to explore, to sign up for that class, to travel, whatever it is that you are wanting here. Someone has yet to reveal how they truly feel. And I'm getting that as well with the mask. And it says hiding true feelings. Someone's not being honest with how they truly feel about you, or they're pretending to feel a certain way. I feel like someone could be gaslighting or maybe even personifying. I don't feel like this is the new beginning that you're heading on. I actually feel like this could be someone that you've already been in conflict with, that maybe you've rejected, or perhaps you've put up a boundary because you know this person's intentions. You may hear from them again. There could be, you know, a message or incoming news showing up. Excuse me. Be mindful of your words this month. Be mindful of your words and how they affect others, because I feel other people in your life are not necessarily as mindful as you are. And words can really damage. We tend to hang on to words. I mean, hence the name spelling, right? It's like spells. Words are like casting spells. That's why it's called spelling. And I feel like you are being mindful of how you speak to yourself, or that's the message here, is be mindful of how you speak to yourself. Are you kind to yourself, Cancer? Are you, treating yourself with the same compassion and kindness that you would a best friend or a lover? So just be mindful. But I feel on the bigger scale, there's going to be some sort of important communication coming in that does lead you towards this new life or this breakthrough. So we have the Fool showing up. Now, yes, the Fool showed up a little bit in the reverse, but it almost feels like mid-reading here that what is being said is you're not tricked. You're not going to be tricked by whatever this mask energy was in the past. I mean, this could be our own preconceived notions. It can be our own limitations, our own self-sabotaging behaviors. It can also be other people that may be personifying. But what I'm getting with the Fool now showing up a little bit more in the upright, because I read the energies, which every card has a shadow and a light. And that's what's popping up all across the astrological signs here in the month of October, is the shadow and the light. And I feel because something is being brought to the light, but you're also addressing the shadow, it's going to allow you not to be tricked or fooled. And if there has been a delay towards a new beginning, this is the month where there's a push forward. Because the Fool is taking that leap of faith. It is self-discovery, curiosity. It is potential. And I feel like if you've second-guessed your own potential, or you've second-guessed this path of moving forward, you're going to receive some clear downloads that let you know if you're on the right path or not. I absolutely feel that with the breakthrough, with your surrounding cards. I mean, this is a big month for a lot of us, but especially you, Cancer, you are breaking through something that it's felt a challenge. It's felt like a challenge. You've been hitting up against that glass ceiling, and it's like you've been trying to break the ice, and something has been stalled or stuck with that Knight of Pentacles in reverse. But now I feel like it's shaken up. The Emperor is coming in here, and the Emperor is saying, no, I'm not going to allow this to occur anymore as you're building your empire. This is also about discipline and focus. That's your big overall energy this month. Is some of you felt you felt like you didn't have a clear focus, or you didn't feel like there was the discipline needed or required. It just felt like a hot mess for some of you, a hot mess in an area of your life with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Typically, the Knight of Pentacles upright is very dependable, very hardworking, very, diplomatic and detail-oriented and resourceful. But when he's in reverse, he's lost focus. He's lost direction. He may have slowed things down, possibly due to health, okay? Possibly due to time management. But the Emperor is showing up here saying, wait a second, we need to get back on track here. We need discipline. We need stability. We need structure. We need order. We need order in this chaos. And I feel like there is a sense of self-control here. But I will say some of you are dealing with a person who is very greedy, very dominant, very controlling, or it felt like that in the past. And maybe that's why there was so much chaos, because you may have been dealing with someone who wasn't a powerful ruler in the highest sense. But for a lot of you, this Aries energy, it feels like this is the overall collective. Every sign has been getting this Emperor. Every sign. Excuse me. Speaking up. Don't swallow your words. Don't swallow your pride. Eating words. I'm getting like, be mindful of the words that you express. Some of you may feel like you have to hold back, but you're going to know when it's time to speak up. Yeah, it almost feels like you will be forced to be put in a situation where you have to be mindful of the words, because you may want to lash out, or you may want to say something, but I feel like there's a time and a place is what I'm getting. There's a time and a place. And if this is the overall energy, you're going to be structured. You're going to be disciplined. You don't see the business owner of a major company lashing out, right? You don't see, yes, you see world leaders and things of that nature, but typically they're cool, calm, and collected because people are looking to them for inspiration, for guidance, for, they're respectable. They do seem to have it together. And I just feel like you are managing your time, you're managing your investments. And I feel if you've gotten in your head a little bit about a situation with the Eight of Swords, this requires you to have that bravery, that courage, and that determination to come out of the woods, so to speak. The King of the Forest with the Eight of Swords. Some of you are stuck. You are stuck in a situation. You are trapped. You are restricted by the shadows. And I feel like you're facing them. You're saying, I'm not running from them. I am facing them. And that is the true, courage and bravery that is required in order for you to come out of this. Don't question your potential is a big thing here. Don't question your potential. Don't question your path. And even though sometimes the Fool, he can take a blind leap into things, I feel like you're wise. You have wisdom. So that's the difference between, just diving into something. It almost feels like there needs to be a balance. When we get these two major arcana as well, the Hermit, you've gained the wisdom, the introspection. And the Fool and the Emperor, it almost feels like opposite energies. The Fool is very, curious and airy-fairy at times. And then we have the Emperor, who's the opposite. How can you find the balance? How can you be open to discovery, but also not so rigid or too rigid that it allows things to be blocked or capped? And that's that glass ceiling. And that's why the Fool is coming in saying, we're bursting through that glass ceiling here. But it is going to require a level of discipline and consistency and communication. All right. What is going on for you in career, finances, money, and abundance? Well, that could be the Emperor with perfectionism, wisdom. Give up your perfectionism. It's causing delays. You'll never get ahead if you don't overcome the fear of failure. And that's what I see you facing. For some of you, remember, this conflict could be internal. And it says you are enough. You have what it takes to improve your finances. So if there's a small voice in your head that may have come from a past boss, or, maybe even a father figure, or an authority figure. Some of you have this Aries in your chart, and I have Aries in my midheaven, and that's a powerful rebel, right? Powerful rebel. When it comes to career, it means that you learn the rules so you can break them. And it's not that you are, breaking the rules in a big way where you're going to get arrested and things like that, but it means learn the rules so you know how to work with them. And I feel because you have the rebel card showing up, you're being asked here to try something outside the box, to step outside of the comfort zone, because you are enough. You have this wisdom within you, this innate, powerful, wise one within. You have what it takes to increase and improve your finances. You may want to look at where Aries is at in your chart. And for some of you, if you're not familiar, this is something new to me, look up your midheaven. You can find that calculator online, but that can really be geared towards career and, how you put your energy towards career. And I feel for some of you, you're asked to break out of some sort of limitation and be a little more free-flowing here in some way, shape, or form. Be a rebel. Learn the rules so you can work with them in some way, shape, or form. Limiting beliefs could be limiting your abundance when it comes to finances. You're a system buster. The Aries is a natural born leader. Aries energy is, someone who is an entrepreneur, someone who's big boss energy, builds an empire. And I feel that way for you. For a lot of you, you are meant to break out of some sort of a limitation in your career. And it says you are a system buster here to teach others a better way. Yeah, system buster, breaking up out of things. It can also be helping restructure new systems, new routines, new rules, by saying that rule doesn't apply. It doesn't work anymore. It keeps us limited. It holds us back. Like I said, you're breaking through the glass ceiling here, Cancer, and you are someone who is here to teach others a better way. But it starts with yourself. You have to believe in your potential and your abilities. And I definitely feel like you are heading towards this powerful path, this new life, because you are a trailblazer meant to pave the way for future generations, the rebel. Now you also have Transporter. This card is a good indicator that things will start moving for you rather quickly. You may work in transportation. Some of you, this could be that you drive or you travel for work. I'm getting real estate. You could be in shipping, right? Or this could be a move or relocating showing up here for career. You could travel, or perhaps you need to take action on some financial matters. The Transporter energy is saying we're getting things done. And we actually have the green light here. You see the green light in the background. So I feel like it's go time. There's something that you will be invited to. This could be a work trip. You could be invited to an interview. And I feel like you got this in the bag. So don't second guess or doubt your own potential. Beautiful. And then lastly, you have activation. You are activating your soul purpose and you're receiving gifts. Yes, you are. There are some spiritual gifts that you have here that are being activated that's going to help you maybe make money, to help you also overcome some of your own fears or blockages or limiting beliefs that may be hindering finances. It says awaken your soul and tap into your ancestral memory and inner wisdom. We just said that. There's a wise one within you with that Hermit, and you're activating it. You're coming out of hiding for some of you, because you had to go in that hibernation. You had to go in hiding. And Cancer, sometimes you do. You retract back into that hermit shell to heal or to gain insight or to rejuvenate yourself. And I do see here a lot of you are finding balance between the material world and the spiritual. There is something here about balancing up the material and the spiritual. So if you find that you're focused too much on the material, that could be the Emperor, because he's the emperor of the material world. But if you find yourself caught in that loop, this is reminding you with the Fool, check back in with your soul self. Check back in. Because sometimes this activation, it can be focusing too much on the material world instead of the spiritual, which the Fool is our soul self. Okay, but I feel like you're activating some really beautiful gifts here, but it's going to require you to trust. It's going to require you to take that leap of faith. Let's look at love. Now, I definitely feel in career, things are changing here, shaking up. So don't be surprised if you do get some sort of invitation and there's a breakthrough that does lead to a new offer, a new income source, a new source of inspiration even, or a new job or a new idea, a new avenue of your business that you haven't seen before. I mean, there's something big showing up here in career for you. And if you are a perfectionist, I feel like you're a natural leader. Take what you've learned and apply it. Apply it in a constructive way. Now let's look at love. Okay, some of you may have spent a lot of time on your own, or even if you were in a relationship, I just feel like there's been a disconnect and you weren't being honest with an individual, how you truly felt. Maybe you weren't in love with this individual anymore. Perhaps you wanted to have a new beginning, but you were staying due to financial reasons. Perhaps you felt I'm getting like strapped. So, I mean, maybe some of you felt strapped for cash, or you felt like you were tied or strapped to a situation, maybe due to finances, children, money. I mean, whatever it may be. But I feel like you've broke out of that, or that is something you will be breaking out of with a breakthrough. But a lot of you had to be single for quite some time, or you had to go through a healing process because of maybe some gaslighting and narcissism that someone had really put you through a lot. And I feel like there's a conversation either with an individual coming in or a conversation with your higher self, because this is about boundaries and, feeling like you didn't want to deal with something, right? You may say, not today, not today. If something has been pushed off, maybe this is another individual. It's like, we are not pushing this off. We need to deal with this once and for all. This is something that needs to be addressed. And if you physically disconnected from someone, this could be energetically cutting some sort of a tie and dealing with it, because they could be affecting your happiness, or that energy is affecting your happiness. Someone's still upset. Maybe someone's still upset by how something went down. And I feel like there's closure here. There's closure. There must be, in order to go towards this new beginning. And you have this beautiful energy coming in. This is what this new life is all about. You have the blowing kisses. I feel like a lot of you are blowing kisses to the past, but it's more of a, and I just said this in another reading. I don't think it was yours, but it almost feels like, sometimes in movies, where you see the person throwing the match at the gasoline and it just blows up and you have the person walking away unscathed by it. I feel like you're blowing up the past in some way, shape, or form. And it's like you're saying sayonara to the past and you're walking out of it without looking behind you, right? It almost feels like an epic moment. Now, what you're heading towards is unconditional love. You have the paradise here, happiness and joy. This is playfulness, enjoying each other's company. This is a honeymoon phase for some of you. If you're looking for love and you found it in all the wrong places in the past, I definitely feel like you could be meeting someone. You could be meeting someone possibly a tad bit older, or someone who could be more playful, right? This is someone who is going to let you know how they feel. This is someone who wants reciprocity, giving and receiving. Someone who's going to, return this affection. This is possibly a next phase to a relationship. It could be the beginning stages. Sometimes that Fool is, the honeymoon period. It's the beginning of something that has the potential to be long-term with the Emperor here. The two of you may be already talking about building your empire. And I feel like it is important to take things slow, but when you know, you know. And I feel some of you with the Knight of Pentacles, something could happen quite quickly for you. And then it has you questioning, like how quick something is happening. You're wondering, wait a second, is this too good to be true? But I actually feel like it's been a long time coming and you deserve happiness, so say yes. Wow, this is beautiful. All right, last but not least, we find you on the fault line, Cancer. We find you on the fault line. And I feel like sometimes this fault line can be a little bit challenging. Now, I don't know each and every one of these cards, but I do feel like this fault line has shown up before, possibly for you, but this is about, redefining your reality, basically. And in order to do so, we have to address the light and the shadow, which again has been that big theme. And we see that there's the dark, there's the fault line, and then on the side is the light. And you see all those little fissures breaking out. And, oh, okay, I just got a message. We could see a massive fault line shifting or erupting in October towards the end, potentially. Okay. No, that's not to bring fear, but I do feel like there's going to be we're already seeing this. We're already seeing changes globally with weather, but I do feel like there could be a potential earthquake or something of that nature. Now, this also has to do with the crack, the weak link. Imagine walking across a frozen lake, and how interesting we use that frozen lake analogy earlier about kind of breaking through the ice. Imagine walking across a frozen lake that begins to crack before your eyes. That's my biggest fear. I hate walking across cracking ice. No matter how optimistic and brave you might be, panic ensues. You become fearful and tense and long for stable ground. Such is the energy of the fault line. It's the energy of walking on eggshells, of precarious dynamics, of sensing what is ready to break open into chaos. It's likely this cracking open is overdue, as fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures. This card comes as a potent warning not to deny the shakiness that's afoot. It's much better to prepare yourself for change than to walk along the fault line pretending all is well. There is no easy fix for the situation at hand. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. It is possible that something a loved one said has caused a crack in your relationship that has never been mended. We said that earlier as well. There's some sort of words that may be replaying out in your head over and over that has to do with your potential. It has to do with your self-worth, or at least you've labeled it that way. And I feel like if that's the case, revisit it. It's time to heal. The time to heal is nigh, it says. Address that foundation. Even if this happened 40 years ago. In Japanese kintsugi pottery, gold is used to mend cracks. Breaks are thought of as precious rather than something to be hidden. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to open yourself up and tell someone, on a deeper level, because it may surprise you, because your vulnerability is going to help open up vulnerability in others. Maybe this is a relationship, a family situation, in your career. Address this fault line, because when this shows up as the light aspect, it's redefining reality. It's something being broken wide open for you. When it's showing up as the dark, this can be pretending. It can be delusion. It can be precariousness. If you want to go deeper, dance to the song. Ooh, I might do this myself, Cancer. Dance to the song by Bob Dylan. Everything is broken, right? Everything is broken. So we are going to see some massive changes, maybe physically, okay, maybe globally, internationally. I feel October is, it's a 10-month. Endings bringing in new beginnings, and we see some big endings and maybe some restructuring around leadership. Could be at your company, could be globally, it could be your role, your position. I'm also getting, addressing issues on the home front, Cancer, addressing something that may have been hidden with the Hermit, or perhaps you put the hand up and you said, not today, right? Maybe you were avoiding an important conversation, walking on eggshells. But if you want this happiness that I see is available here for you, there's a new life, a new path, a breakthrough. If you want this, which why wouldn't you, right? Then don't be afraid to do the hard work, right? We can do hard things, as Glennon Doyle says. And I feel like a big message here is to address the fault line, address, this foundational shift. And you're going to be so much better off instead of constantly playing that tug of war. I live in Wisconsin, so the ice freezes over and I like to go out on the lake and go ice fishing. But I tell you what, if there's only a couple inches of ice, it's scary when you go out there and you hear that ice cracking. And I feel for some of you, you want to avoid it, right? You don't want to go out on that ice until it feels stable. And I feel for some of you, you could be waiting for that stability for a long time, right? And I just feel like now there's just enough ice for you to address it. And even if it means that you go under in some way, shape, or form, trust that you're protected, right? I'm not saying anybody go out there and walk on ice that's an inch thick. No. This is metaphorically. But I do feel like you don't want to have that hypervigilance or that paranoia or obsessiveness that something is going to fall out from underneath you. That's why it's important to address now. So some sort of message, communication, or invitation is showing up for you in the month of October that is leading you directly towards this new life, this paradise. So take a leap of faith, put yourself out there. Even if you can't see how much ice is underneath something, trust that you're protected as you address this. Even if it means that it's going to stir things up a bit, I feel like you are protected here. I'm going to get one last card because I feel like protection is significant. Some of you feel like you're not protected. This may have to do with your body. You have body love. Your body has supported every moment leading to now. It never leaves you. You are safe in your body. Okay, so there is something here about maybe you not feeling safe, maybe you not feeling protected. It is wise and all-knowing. When you tune into her or him, guidance and inner knowing become clear. So you have the body love card here, Cancer. Make sure you are paying extra attention to your body and give yourself that extra body love in the month of October. That is what I have for you, beautiful souls. Big shifts happening here. You're addressing the cracks, but these are changes for the better. Okay, you're coming out on the other side, and I feel like, yes, it's hard, but you can do hard things. I believe in you, Cancer. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love.